Good evening, the evening news. I am Mariam Ahmad. The International Monetary Fund has projected a gradual drop in Nigeria's debt to gross domestic product ratio. According to IMF's Fiscal Monitor report, Nigeria's debt to GDP figure is expected to drop slightly from 50.7% to 49.6% next year. The report showed that Nigeria's debt to GDP ratio was 46.1% in October last year, while a year after, the figure has surged to 50.7%. The IMF said Nigeria's debt includes overdrafts from the Central Bank of Nigeria and liabilities of the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria. It said the overdraft and government deposits at the Central Bank of Nigeria almost cancel each other out, and the Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria debt is roughly halved. It further estimated that Nigeria's debt to GDP will further drop to 48.5% in 2026, 48.2% in 2027, before rising to 48.8% and 49.1% in 2028 and 2029, respectively. The Central Bank of Nigeria has clarified that the old series of 200 naira, 500 naira, and 1000 naira banknotes will remain valid indefinitely, refuting claims that the notes would cease to be legal tender by December 31st this year. In a statement released by the Acting Director of Corporate Communications, CD Akama, the CBN that such reports are false and intended to disrupt the nation's payment system. The CBN reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring that all Nigerian banknotes, including both the old and redesigned series, remain in circulation, reminding the public that the Supreme Court's order for the continued use of old Naira notes alongside the redesigned versions is still in effect. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives has called on the CBN to begin the gradual withdrawal of old Naira notes and ensure the availability of new notes in the 200 Naira, 500 Naira, and 1000 Naira denominations for Nigerians. The Senate has approved 15% from the Consolidated Revenue Fund as source of funding for the newly created Zonal Development Commissions by member states. The approval followed consideration and adoption of the report of the Senate Committee on Special Duties on the bills establishing the commissions. Earlier, the lawmakers were divided over the source of funding for the newly created Zonal Development Commissions during the clause-by-clause consideration of the South-South Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024, which serves as the structural template for other zonal commissions. Senator Yahya Abdullahi warned that the provision could lead to legal challenges from state governments, as no state would willingly allow its statutory allocation to be reduced. He explained that the 15% allocation would not involve a direct deduction from the state's funds. The Oyo State government has reiterated the commitment of the Southwest region towards building on the legacies of the founding fathers to achieve economic prosperity. Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde made this known at the commissioning of the renovated iconic Cocoa House ground floor reception car parks and the surroundings by the Odua Investment Company Limited. Governor Makinde, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Honorable Segun Ogunwuyi, pledged the continuous support of the Southwest states towards ensuring that Odua Investment Company Limited achieves its vision of economic prosperity for the region. In their separate remarks, the group chairman of OICL, Otumba Bimbo Ashiru, and the group managing director as well as chief executive officer of the company, Mr. Abdurrahman Yunusa, pledged the commitment of the organization to continue building on the structures put on ground by the founding fathers of the region to meet the global standard. in their separate goodwill messages. Some of the stakeholders, among whom were Dr. Adebayo Chimo, as well as some past and present board members of OICL, expressed appreciation to the management of the company for adding value to the legacies inherited from the founding fathers, just as they tasked the company not to relent in its vision of becoming the sovereign wealth fund for the Southwest. At least 83 cases of circulating variant poliovirus type 2 have been recorded in 14 states this year. The executive director of the National Primary Health Care Development Agency, Dr. Muyiwa Aino, made the disclosure in Abuja during the 2024 World Polio Day commemoration. According to him, 64 are acute flaccid paralysis cases, while 19 were identified in environmental sites despite a 35% reduction in cases compared to last year. He acknowledged the ongoing challenge of eradicating CVPV2, a mutated virus that has been spreading since 2021. Dr. Aino explained the success of eradicating wild poliovirus in 2020, noting that CVPV2 continues to pose a challenge. He assured the agency's ongoing efforts, including the identify, enumerate, and vaccinate strategy aimed at improving the effectiveness of the polio campaign and interrupting CVPV2 transmission. And now from sports, the Confederation of African Football is keeping all concerned in suspense after failing to announce its verdict as regards the botched AFCON qualifying Group A fixture between Libya and Nigeria, scheduled for October 15 at Benina Matrix Stadium. Report says the football body has yet to arrive at a decision, despite the disciplinary committee entertained explanations from both parties on Wednesday via video conference with Libya and Nigeria duly represented. CAF had previously decided to cancel the Libya-Nigeria match after the Nigerian national team left Libya in protest at the diversion of its flights to Labrak Airport, where they were locked in for 18 hours with neither food nor water. And now from the foreign scene, Mozambique's ruling party, Frelimo, has won the country's divisive violence married election, extending its 49-year grip on power. According to officials, Daniel Chapo, Frelimo's relatively unknown presidential candidate, seen as an agent of change, will replace Filipe Nyusi, who has served 2 terms. Chapo, aged 47, who gained 71% of the votes, will be the first president born after independence in 1975, while his closest challenger, Venancio Mondlane, got 20%. The newly president said in his victory speech that the party remained silent all this time because it respects and it's also an organized party that prepares for victories. Reports said the election was marred by allegations of rigging and the killing of opposition supporters. That ends the evening news on OSBC TV. Join us at 7 for the major reports. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon.
OSBC Tiwani OSBC Tiwani ìròyìn tó kún rẹ́rẹ́ Tiwani ètò tó gbámúṣé Tiwani ìpolówó ọjà Tiwani láti ń ṣe bẹbẹ Tiwani láti ń fakọyọ Tiwani láti ń kìlọ̀ ìwà Tiwani láti ń wòye ayé Tiwani à ń gbàṣà lárugẹ Tiwani OSBC Tiwani ẹgbẹ́ wa lárugẹ o ẹgbẹ́ wa lárugẹ o Tiwani OSBC Tiwani OSBC Tiwani ìròyìn tó kún rẹ́rẹ́ Tiwani ètò tó gbámúṣé Tiwani ìpolówó ọjà. láti ń ṣe bẹbẹ láti ń fakọyọ láti ń kìlọ̀ ìwà láti ń wòye ayé à ń gbàṣà lárugẹ OSBC ẹgbẹ́ wa